Welcome back to CFI, Credit, Finance, and Investing. And I wanted to do a quick video today on the cost of doing things yourself versus having someone else do it for you. And what's really brought this to a head is I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's not a good use of my time to do something myself because I make more than that. And if I'm doing something that costs less, I could just hire someone and be that and still come out ahead. There's a certain logic to that, and I get it, especially if you're doing something at work and you can hire someone to do a job. If you're a high earning individual, or if you're a business owner aspiring to be a high owner individual, it can be more efficient to hire people to do things that are more efficiently done by someone who makes less. That's fine. But I see a lot of people doing this in their personal lives. For example, I see people talking about, well, I don't want to work on my car. I can pay someone and I make more than that, so it's not a big deal. Or I can just eat out, because if I eat out, it's just not a good use of my time because I make more than that an hour versus what a fast food worker makes. And there's a logic to that too. Here's the problem with that. When you are working at work and you're paid hourly, sure, someone may make less than you, and it may be more efficient to offload a task to them. When you're not working, you're not making any money. So the value of your time is zero if you're watching TV because it's not generating income. So make sure, if you're using that logic, that you're taking that to the next step of, am I doing something right now that is generating that kind of income for me? So here's how this looks. Let me turn my screen on here in a second. What I did here is I broke out, if someone's making a certain annual wage, the actual hourly wage they should be making based on a couple of different measures. The first one is just 52 weeks a year. There's 52 weeks in the year. If you divide $20,000 by 52 weeks, you get $9.62 an hour. Now, some people get a couple of weeks paid vacation. So if you get 2 weeks paid vacation, that would put you at 50 weeks. That puts you at $10 an hour versus $9.62. All the way up to someone making $200,000 a year, making anywhere between $96.15 and $100 an hour. So it'd be easy to look at this graph and say, well, shoot, if I'm making $100,000 a year, I'm making $50 an hour, and an oil change is only going to cost me maybe $100 or $80 or $50, depending on where you go, because you can find varying values. So it's more efficient for me to pay someone to do it, so I don't have to take that time out of my day. So let's follow through on this logic. If you are doing that during the workday, and that's the only time you're doing it, sure. If that's what you're comfortable doing, then that may be more efficient. However, if you drop it off after work, when you would just be watching The Rookie or whatever show you happen to watch, then you're actually not making much. Or if you're cooking dinner at home, well, you're probably not working during that time frame. You'd just be spending it maybe catching up with family or watching TV or doing something else, but it may be more efficient. And if you want to see the long-term implications, check out our other video that talks about getting rich from lunch money. So I did take a quick look and see a couple of different options on how much things really cost. And just if you learn a couple of skills that, yeah, they may be mundane, they may be basic and manual labor, but these things can add up to thousands of dollars only in the course of a year if you learn to do them yourselves. So for example, I took a 2015 Honda Civic, and if you go to the dealer, your oil change could run somewhere between $115 to $139. That same job, if you do the job yourself, can be $30. So it depends on where you buy the oil, but that $30 or $40 using synthetic oil can be a significant savings. If you're someone that gets lawn service, some people don't want to mow a lawn. Well, that can cost between $45 to $185 per mowing, depending on the size of the lawn. Yeah, you may make $50 to $100 an hour, but you're paying out during time that you're not working. If you get a little bit more comfortable with auto mechanics, brake jobs are something that I've seen as a huge profit margin for the dealers. Easily between $300 to $800, sometimes over $1,000 on a complete brake job. I've had a couple of different cars, whether they're heavy trucks or BMWs, where it's $800 an axle. So $800 for the front brakes and $800 for the rear brakes. Those parts can be had for less than $200. And that's if you replace the rotors and the brake pads together, which you have to do on some of the BMWs. Now, those are big ticket items, and these are things that someone who is renting would that may have to do. The lawn mowing depends on your lease, of course. But if you own a home and you learn to do some of the work on your home, that can easily be thousands of dollars each time. For example, we had fence panels that needed to be just hung back up because a windstorm blew them down. To have a handyman do it, it was $1,000. To do it yourself, maybe $200 in parts if you have to replace parts. Now here's something that everyone can benefit from. Eating out versus eating in. Or eating in and doing a home cooked meal versus doing a meal plan or meal prep plan that you may be able to get. The average cost of cooking a meal at home, according to this website, topnutritioncoaching.com, is $4.23. The average meal eating out at an inexpensive restaurant is $16 per meal or per person. When you add that over time, again, check out our video that talks about getting rich from lunch money. That savings, especially multiplied out on a daily basis, can save you a lot of money. Don't be afraid to do things yourself. Don't fall prey to the trap of, I make more than that, therefore the things that I could do in my off hours, I'm going to offload to someone else. If you're willing to take the time now, that money invested can save you or make you literally millions of dollars. If this has been valuable, feel free to subscribe, or share the video with someone else. Thanks for being here.